Punch out and go to work.
Yes! Today we're doing things, stuff and things. Today we're flexing and fluxing, so let's get this thing going. It's probably the gayest thing I'm going to say all day.
Doubtful.
So, mistakes were made. Whiskey Savage Media set me up with the guys over at Night Vision Network who introduced me to the hands-on experience with a Flux Raider. At that point, I had to have one. So, through the power of persuasion, somehow, Whiskey Savage Media found me a Raider where I didn't have to pay gun broker prices. So it didn't cost me $1,300 for something that's like $600 on their website. Today, I am going to try and not screw up the install of this 320 into this Flux Raider sex package. Oh boy, there's stuff and things in the box. It comes out of the box with warning label on top of warning label on top of warning label with an extra warning label. Basically, all the warning labels say, don't let Rob do this. We're just going to see what happens. Let's admit it, that's probably one of the dopest parts of this gun. And we'll set the Flux aside for the moment. SIG has made their takedown fairly intuitive. The one thing I've never done with this thing is pull the fire control unit out. So I'm going to see how intuitive this is, because they say even a monkey can do it, and I am the gun monkey. So let's see how this goes. That was pretty easy. All right, cool. So, moving right along. I'm assuming there's a pocket in here where this goes. Safety must be down. Now with these, they say your fire control unit cannot have the SIG factory safety on it. So I'm going to make sure that my serial number is unscratched off, which it is. And I'm going to kind of gently figure out how this drops in there. I'm not going to force nothing. Snug as a bug. All right, it's got to move back a little bit. It's not quite lined up properly, but let's.
Here, you want me to fix this?
Yes, that'll get it to fit. Nope, there it is. We're good.
Got it?
Maybe. We're doing stuff and things. Now I'm literally just reinstalling the takedown lever. So the takedown lever is flush against the frame. Flush against the flame. Oh yeah. So the other thing is, if your SIG has suppressor height sights, the rear sight's going to have to come off. Otherwise, it won't slide underneath the optics mount on this. I've already kind of partially removed mine, so there. That's out of the way. Whip machine suppressors are multi-purpose tools. And that's it. She should function now. There we go. Now all I gotta do is put my sight or my optic up top, and I should be able to roll this thing I should be able to roll this thing out like I own it. One of the reasons I liked this as a not like more of an off-body carry subgun is its compactability, but the way they set this thing up as far as innovation goes, they were really, really smart. They did give it an integral safety switch that's part of the frame but integrates seamlessly with the mechanics of the SIG fire control unit. This gun is empty, and this magazine's empty, and this magazine's empty. Now all the NRA safety nerds can shut the fuck up. One of the other nice things is I just showed you one of the really cool parts of this setup that I thought was something I wouldn't necessarily thought of myself, but more importantly, something that's not present on all the other like firearm like handgun chassis things. The command arms or the micro-roni, it's really just you take your gun and shove it in there and you have a compact system that works really well for stabilized shooting. This was built more for stabilized shooting in a combat kind of mentality. And for that, they put a lot of like efficiencies into it in a really intuitive way. So I'm going to close the slide. And I'm going to reverse this just because it works better when I'm showing it to you from here. There is two different mag releases. There's one right here in the traditional space, and then there's another one under here. And by under here, I mean right there, underneath, behind the magazine. So if I want to swap out my working magazine, the magazine that's inside the mag well of the firearm, or the grip of the firearm, I can press the button and the magazine ejects as gravity intended. If I want to remove the front magazine, I can do a light touch at the front, and I mean a light touch at the front right here, and this magazine is removed. This magazine stays in place. Now, there's a transfer bar between this release and this forward release. And what that transfer bar does is when I hard pull this, both magazines are released simultaneously. I did that slow for you, those of you at home that have palsy, but this is what it looks like normally. And there's your reload. It's a little weird because that's not a natural position for your hand, but you got to admit that ability to just cross swap this is single out, dual out. That's amazing.
Amazing!
To release the rear brace, press the deployment rod down, give it a short smack to the rear, then you can finish it with a little firm pressure at the backside.
Again, like prison.
But the thing that I like the most about it, the thing that gets everybody, is that immediate deployment switch is just pushing straight down on that, and then boom, we go. Fully extended. It's out in a hard position already. You can press that thing against your body armor or wherever you need it to be, and you can punch out and go to work, which I think is the most hysterical statement on the planet right now because King picks media. But anyway, again, pressing the deployment bar down, giving it a firm smack on the backside, and then firm pressure to put it home. They do give you one QD space on this thing. There is two, but they're like one's usable at a time. I wouldn't necessarily put, like, it does have a 2-point space, one on the brace and one on the actual body of the chassis. Again, there's my moment. I don't know how plausible it is to have a 2-point clicked in there. I would imagine that I would just put this in a single point and use it in the old HK, like press out mentality, until I, had a moment to deploy the actual brace. The thing that I do like about this brace, other than everything, is that it is kind of offset the way the tail hook is from Gearhead Works, so that if I do decide that I'm going to take a more traditional shot pressing the gun out, it doesn't get in the way. It's not, if it was a normal brace, I'd have to have my wrist in some weird cattywampus thing where I can actually, with the way it's configured now, I can actually get behind it. The gun functions normally with these braces and they run really well. which is one of the reasons I had to have one. So that's my demonstration of the assembly of the Flux. I hope it's short enough to fall inside your algorithm and detailed enough to keep your attention. If it's not, well, I blame your generation.